All right, we'll try to reestablish connection with Aisha, but in the meantime, the federal government may initiate a re-privatization of Nigeria's 11 electricity distribution companies if the Electricity Act Amendment Bill 2025 is enacted. The proposed legislation seeks to compel core investors in the discos to inject new capital or face penalties, including share dilution and possible takeover. The bill, currently undergoing legislative review, mandates financial restructuring within 12 months, aiming to attract long-term investments and eliminate unstructured subsidies. It grants the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission increased authority to enforce compliance and impose sanctions. Now, industry stakeholders have expressed concerns that the new framework may disrupt reforms from the 2023 Electricity Act, despite previous interventions. The DISCO continues to underperform, contributing to ongoing power supply challenges nationwide. We're now joined by a development economist and investment banker, Dr. Nnaemeka Obiaraeri, for more on the re-privatization move for Nigeria's 11 electricity distribution companies. Thank you so much, Dr. Obiaraeri, for joining us. Now, let's start with a big question. This bill could lead to a re-privatization of the discos. What exactly has prompted such a drastic move?
I don't think the essence of the bill is intended to, I don't think the sole purpose of the bill is to re-privatize the existing discos. Basically, what we have seen over the last couple of years since the privatization of the power sector is we practically handed over our power assets to crony capitalists of the government of the day that sold it. And many of them have not injected any fresh monies into this. Basically, what they just did was just took those discos to milk Nigerians. And I recall clearly, those assets were valued at over 3.2 trillion naira. They were given away at about $430 billion, a billion naira. And most of us complained and whined and, kicked against the pittance that federal government received for the sale of those assets. And most of those assets were purchased with 100% leverage financing. Most of those who purchased those assets did not have the technical and financial capacity to manage them. Basically, what they did was to take those assets without value add, started billing Nigerians arbitrarily, selling darkness and collecting monies. Basically, what this new bill seeks to do is to inject fresh capital into that sector. If you want to own the power assets, you must be willing to invest, attract capital, and give Nigerians light and not darkness. Owning the power assets is not the easiest route to becoming a foreign-listed billionaire without adding value to the economy. And I want us to know this clearly. I was discussing with a friend in the US and another friend in Canada. I live in a place in Ikoyi where they say we are in. When I was looking at my electricity bill, we are charged 225 naira per kilowatt hour. Look at that, my friend in Connecticut, the US, that in Canada. You will see clearly that the average bill per month is about $59 to $100, and they even consume more power than me. Whereas I that live in Lagos, who barely receive 20 hours power, spend almost about $230, 3 times what those guys are paying to have darkness. So the truth is, this bill will help us to strengthen that sector. If it means the privatization of those assets, let it be. And we need to totally unbundle, liberalize that power sector. We cannot continue to generate darkness, distribute darkness while fleecing Nigerians. And if you look clearly, most of even the disco assets, go to any part of that. Once there is transformer destruction or blowout, those discos will not replace it. They will still expect the residents to gather to provide the transformers, to provide the wires, to provide the poles, while they will not just come and hook them and charge them. Essence of this bill, and we must have to go further than what we're are doing now to ensure that we'll inject transparency, efficiency, accountability, and new funds into that sector. I applaud Senator Nnaemeka Obiaraeri for spearheading this bill. I applaud National Assembly for quickly let them pass it and let us go and reform this sector. It's very, very important. The only way we can industrialize Nigeria, the only way we can move this country forward is when we fix the power sector. And it's high time we fixed it.
So the amendment gives core investors just 12 months to inject the new capital. In your view, is that a fair demand, or are we setting these companies up to fail?
I think they should extend it to 24 months. 18 months to 24 months will be the ideal timeline. 1 year may be too short. 1 year may be too short. But I just want us to know that that intervention is urgently needed. We need to inject fresh capital in that sector, massive capital, and we need to transform and reform that sector. We need to liberalize it. We need to decentralize it. We need to, even the transmission, we need to decentralize transmission network, even to state levels. This idea of having a national grid is not acceptable to anybody who understands how the power sector works. So 2 years should be ideal. I think 12 months is a bit too short.
All right, Dr. Nnaemeka Obiaraeri, thank you so much for joining us to discuss the electricity situation in Nigeria. We appreciate your time with us.